The 51st Tamworth Country Music Festival is well underway. Joining me live is Tamworth Country Music Festival Director Barry Harley. Barry, good afternoon to you. The sun is shining. There's plenty of people there. How's it going?
Oh, absolutely tremendous. What a great feeling to have the festival back to near normal, back to its traditional dates, and just thousands and thousands of people are descending on Tamworth as we speak to take in those very happy sounds.
Well, I tell you what, it's certainly been a success, hasn't it? I mean, 51 years. Tell us what some of the special performances are today and right up until the end of the festival, and what you've been seeing in terms of the people going. And as you said, after a couple of years due to COVID, a few cancellations and shuffles and everything.
Look, it's a fantastic feeling. I mean, Tamworth is really a unique festival in as much as it's just not one venue. It's spread across the entire city with over 60 venues taking place. And where I'm standing is just a sort of the Fitzroy Plaza, which links Peel Street, the main street of Tamworth, with the parklands behind us. And on Friday night, there was over 8,000 people in the park for just one of the, probably scheduled 200 events. And the other unique part of this festival is that we actually accommodate right the way through from the people singing their first tune ever as a busker, right the way through to the weekend where the golden guitars are given out as the celebration of Australia's best.
And tell us a bit, Barry, about the success of some of the performers. You mentioned some busking. Tell us some of the successful musicians that we would know that have come through the Country Music Festival there.
Oh, it's an extraordinary history over the 51 years. If you mentioned that, there's an adage in the industry that to make it in country music, first you've got to make it in Tamworth, and that's very true. And we've seen, the years pass with the likes of Keith Urban, Troy Casadale, Casey Chambers, Becky Cole, all have started their careers busking in Tamworth, working their way through the talent request circuit, and then finally being multi-golden guitar winners. But a recent version of that is a young bloke by the name of James Johnson. Just 3 years ago, he was actually busking in Peel Street. He's got a sellout show at the Tamworth Regional Entertainment Centre on Wednesday night, and he's up for 5 golden guitars on the weekend. And, so that just gives you that idea that some people can jump the 10 or 15 years needed to build a career and go straight to the top.
Oh, some incredible stories there, Barry, indeed, and incredible amount of money the economy brings, the festival brings into the Tamworth economy. Can you run us through some figures?
Yeah, look, it's very important to Tamworth. This 10 days represents 20% of Tamworth's annual economy. That's how important it is, and sort of injects something in the order of well over $60 million into the economy from the music. And also some of that money goes back into the country music industry as well, of course, paying all the artists. And it's just such a vital part of both the industry and the economy.
Now, many of us love festivals. What is it about the Tamworth Country Music Festival that is so special and unique?
Well, I think it's because it's this mixture. There's over 600 artists engaged in the festival, another 300 buskers. And so, it's a pretty big poster to put all those names on the poster. But you can come to Tamworth and just soak up the atmosphere, whether it be the cacophony of happy sounds down the main street with all the buskers, or right the way through to the big ticketed concerts from the likes of Lee and Troy and Casey and Becky and all those sorts of people. And it doesn't matter what your genre, your preferred genre of music, you will find something in Tamworth enjoyable, whether it's through bush ballads or through country rock. It's just an extraordinary experience. And when we survey our visitors and say, what's the main reason you come to Tamworth, their number one response is the atmosphere. And that's what we encourage, just to soak it up, be happy, hear the vibes, support the artists, and just have a good time.
Well, it's certainly what we need, isn't it? Especially after a couple of years of COVID. It's still going strong, though, but great to see that so many people are able to get out and about now and enjoy themselves. How important is music and just basically getting out to live events for us?
Look, I think music is that sort of panacea, right? It just changes your feelings, changes your heart, changes your mind. And country music specifically, albeit that there's many songs about, drowning horses and lost wives and things, it's also a very family-orientated thing, a very happy thing to do. And it's so important to actually reinvigorate the music industry generally and the country music industry is specifically to get them back into some sort of new normal, because 2.5 years of fairly special times that they're trying to recover from.
Yeah, 100%. So tell us about the Golden Guitars. I believe it's on Saturday night. You mentioned James Johnson. We'll have to look out for him. We chatted to Amber Lawrence, who's also up for 5 Golden Guitars. Who else is in line for some?
Well, it's there's about 16 categories, and people like Ashley Dallas, who's a local homegrown young lady. She's the current 2022 Female of the Year, and she's up for a couple. We've got, as you mentioned, James Johnson. That surprised everyone. He's up for, I think I said 5 earlier. It's actually 6 nominations. And Amber Lawrence, she's a real hard worker in the industry, and she's got several as well. So, and then we've got some of the expected people who'll be up for the Golden Guitars. But more importantly, the Golden Guitars celebrate 12 months of Australian excellence, and it just is appropriate that it actually finishes up the Tamworth Festival pretty much, so we go right the way through from the emerging talent, which you can hear and see on the streets, through to the talent quest, where, we've got Toyota Star Maker on tonight, which has launched the careers of people like Keith Urban and James Blundell, Gina Jeffries, Becky Cole, and a whole host of others. And then on next Saturday night with those Golden Guitars, there'll be 16 categories awarded. And that's really to show that Australian country music's in great hands, great future, and we look forward to that new normal.
Well, you've done a great job there. Well done to you and the team, Festival Director Barry Harley, and we will talk to you again soon. We'll look out for those winners for the Golden Guitar Awards.
Thank you very much, and all your viewers, they're welcome. 10 days, 8 days to go, so there's still plenty of time to make the trip to Tamworth.
Fantastic. Thanks, Barry.